So today I'm going to start my journaling by fives step 1, but I wanted to prep some supplies first. So I have some Lindy's Stamp Gang sprays, and then I also have a set of the Magicals, which you can mix with modeling paste or gels or just water to make your own sprays. And I have some mini misters, and I've got a couple of them that I've made up. And you can sort of see one is kind of a turquoise and one is kind of a lighter green. And today what I'm going to make up is a little bit of the Steampunk Sepia. And this is just a pair of tweezers. They're made for picking up glitter and stuff. They have like little cups. And I want to just add to this mini mister. And this is just kind of a sepia tone. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of rusty lime to that. And those pieces that fell, I'm going to just kind of wipe them onto a page. Or they'll be on my drop sheet. And I'm just going to add some water from a spray bottle that I have. Plain tap water. I'm going to give it a little bit of shake. I'm going to keep that water set aside because I am going to use that too a little bit, I think. And then I have some gold and some silver. And they have a sort of a sparkly. So I'll give you kind of a view. This page has just a little bit of the magical. If I just add some water, you can see that color just burst right through. And then you can move it around. And that's kind of what I want to do to add the color to my pages this time. Is I don't want a lot of solid color. I want kind of a watercolor effect. But these are permanent once they dry. So they won't reactivate when you do your other layers in your using like Mod Podge. And what you can do when you use your heat gun is you can like make marks. Alright, and the other thing I like to do sometimes is either take another piece of paper or fold the paper on itself. But a lot of times I like to just lay a piece of paper on top of it just to soak up the excess. And then I get some color on another page. But you can sort of see that you'll get some drops and some, you can get some purposeful marks. Especially if the color is darker. This is not as dark a color. Alright, and then the other thing I'm going to do, let me set these aside, is I'm going to use my jelly plate. And I'm going to put some gel medium on, and after that dries on the paper, then I'm going to use some Distress Stain. And I'm just going to use a palette knife to get some on the plate. And you won't see anything now. So what I'll do is I'll just put this on. And I am going to make a mark so I know which side has the gel medium once it dries. Just going to put a B in pencil for back, so I'll know which one. These papers should work fairly well because they're thin. Oh, that's going to be good because it's got all that old paint if I can get it up. If not, I'll just make a cleanup stencil print. No, I'm not going to get that, so let me close the gel medium, get some white paint, I want to see if I can't get some of this. It's from something else to stick to the plate. It's another stencil I need it to clean. But it's just dried paint. So let's try this. right on a piece of music paper. It's actually pretty cool, and the white is so light you can still see the music beneath it. So I'm just going to set several pages out. I'm going to lay stencils on them. I think I'm just going to lay some layers. So maybe it will be faster. I can spray and pull apart. Should have done this before the clock started. Getting all these lids off. I'm going to leave the stencils on and stack them so that they can maybe dry a little. Before I move the stencils. And I'm going to lay another stencil map page down. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. To soak up some of the extra paint or sprays. I never know where to put everything. I like how they're coming out though. They're real light, real faint. Real soft. Yeah, those numbers were backwards. Alright, I'm at 7 minutes. I'm going to stop. And I'm going to stop the camera and straighten up. And then I'm going to come back and work on the ones that I had set to the side to dry earlier. Alright, so I'm ready to add some more color. I'm at 7:25, so I'm going to resume and get started. I'm going to start with red and copper. I'm going to use a jelly plate, and I'm just going to use some of the same stencils to add color to the ones that I used to blot. They just didn't get any color on them to speak of. And I'm even going to brayer on a couple of them to get some color. Alright. pretty, pretty. And I think I'm going to throw this brayer one aside. That's red so dominant. And I think I can get a little bit more of this. Not everywhere, but in spaces. Kind of like that patchiness. It'll just give it more. Alright, so that gives me 4 of them with some more color. Alright, I'm going to use some blue black with some silver. This stencil I made with different fleur-de-lis. And again, I'm going to brayer. Not sure about that color combination, but once you get layers on top of it, it really won't matter. Next I'm going to go with a green and some of the copper. Back with the same stencil that I had on this. It's pretty. there's some more I can get up there. And I'll show you all these when I'm done printing. I'm at 14, so I need to set the jelly plate aside because I have the two that I put the resist on that I want to try the distress stain on and see what shows up or doesn't. Alright, and I think I'm going to add a little water and sandwich those because I am running out of time. I'm at 15 right now and I'm just finishing my last one. I don't know that they showed up that well on this. I don't know if I like that. It could be that my gel medium was too dry. The pattern's there. But it's very faint. So I don't know if I like it. And I know I'll have to seal this layer to some degree. But I'll just leave it that green. I might jelly over it later or stencil over it later. And you can't see the rings on this one very well. So I can't say that it was a technique that I liked. This was supposed to be circles. So I'll let that dry and then I'll do something with it later. It's one of my pages. It is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I ended up with at the end of my 15 minutes. So this was just a map page that I brayered on, and it had some turquoise from the spray. This is the page I tried putting the matte medium on and the distress stain. So I'll just stencil over that on another step. It'll just be solid. This is the spray through the stencil, and you can't see it on the camera, but it's real glitter, shimmery. And these are real soft. This is another one with the same colors, the teal and the green and the sepia, with a harlequin and a zigzag. This one has more of a Moroccan pattern. This is a map page with the fleur-de-lis and kind of like a double circle lattice. This is one of the pages I just used to soak up the excess on top of a map page. This has got the lattice down here on the mileage chart, which I really like, and then it's got a smaller kind of fleur-de-lis pattern over the map. This is the cleanup off the jelly plate, which is the white paint. You can still see the impression of the music stuff. This is a piece of the map paper that I jelly printed on top of, and it's kind of a copper. Can you see the, and it's got some greens in it. This is a piece of the map paper with the turquoise spray and the red copper. Same thing, because I got a couple of different prints off that jelly. This is the brayer sheet on top of the map paper. I think once some of this is covered up with some of the other elements, it'll be striking with that red and that turquoise. And I'll have to work. There'll be like a series, because these are going to all end up being matted and framed. Is the goal. This is the blue, black, and the silver. It has kind of a real grunge with the turquoise in the background and the purples. And you can see there's a little bit of fleur-de-lis. This is just the brayer sheet. Again, has kind of a grungy feeling, and it's over kind of a little bit of a lime spray. Again, you can see some of that lime. I may end up hitting it with the lime spray again a little bit more. This is the copper and the turquoise. Goes with the other one. There's some green in there. The copper with some of the lime and the music paper. This is one that got left to the side that I didn't end up really doing much to. There's a little bit of a pattern that you can see that's real delicate and real slight. Alright, and I had a mess on my jelly plate when the timer went off, and I took that green map paper and I laid it over, and it tore in a couple different places. But it didn't really pick anything up. So I have a choice. I could use this side right here, which is just kind of a whitish green, or I could use this side where you can still see the map and the distressed ink, which is probably what I'll use because I like the pattern of the map. And then this is the cleanup print that I finally did pick up on a piece of the music paper that was set to the side. So that's it for step 1. I'm going to let these dry, and then I'll be back for step 2. Thanks for watching.